Natalie Wood appeared wealthy. Fame, beauty, and an ideal marriage. She was secretly furious with a loved one. Her hatred began at 16. This woman forced Natalie into a hotel room with a 39-year-old married star and encouraged her to get over it after he abused her. She ran Natalie's life and sacrificed her youth for fame. This, the heartbreaking Natalie Wood story you never heard. Natalie Wood's journey began off-screen. A fortune teller started it. Maria Zakharenko was informed two things about her young daughter Natalia in the late 1930s. She would be famous worldwide and perish in Dark Sea. After that, Maria wasn't just a mother, she was missionary. She took Natalie to auditions, sets, and any place else she could be seen. Maria moved the family from San Francisco to Los Angeles in 1943, when Natalie was 4. She disregarded her husband's pleas. She overlooked Natalie's youth. Prophecy was all that mattered. Natalie's major break occurred at age 4. A film crew saw her in Santa Rosa. Director Irving Pitchell gave her a small role in Happy Land. The 15-second event changed everything. Pitchell communicated for 2 years. In 1945, he called Maria and asked her to come to Los Angeles for a screen test. Maria acted quickly. She relocated the family. Natalie captivated Pitchell, who wanted to adopt her. Natalie debuted in Tomorrow is Forever at 7, starring with Orson Welles and Claudette Colbert. She wore a dental bridge on set after losing 2 baby teeth. Her performance still astonished everyone. Welles labeled her talent scary. He claimed she acted heartily, not script. Natalie received the box office blue ribbon after the film. Maria contracted with Universal International and managed all offers. Money lifted the family out of poverty. Even her father, Nick, became a studio carpenter. But home life was never serene. Nick Zakharenko, an immigrant, seen Russian horrors. He worked hard, but drank more. He had terrible mood swings. Sober, he was kind. But inebriated, he was vicious. Maria often took the girls to hotels to escape. Nick drank after Natalie's fame improved their lives. He always frightened his family. Natalie grew up in a scary home. Chaos followed her into adulthood. Natalie featured in Miracle on 34th Street at 8 in 1947. It became Christmas classic. The Santa actor, Edmund Gwynn, seemed real to her. She was juggling 3 films. Natalie Wood was her mother's new name. She was instructed to imitate Margaret O'Brien, another child celebrity, while following 3 directors. She was sharp despite the chaos. She even helped actors remember lines. The film was successful. It helped make the Macy's Parade a nationwide event by running all holiday season. Natalie learned between takes. Child actors had to attend 3 hours of school per day in California. She studied math and physics at the studio. Directors were amazed by her intelligence. Despite her busy filming schedule, she never slacked off. Her nighttime studies included memorizing coursework and scripts. As a full-time actor, she attended Van Nuys High. She graduated in 1956, juggling fame and school. It required discipline most grown-ups couldn't handle. Studios sought to sculpt her as she aged. Warner Brothers wanted her as a teen queen. They paired her with Tab Hunter. It failed. Their control extended to her clothes, hair, and public life. She was sent on celebrity faux dates for magazine covers. Real dates existed. It was mostly bogus. She worked tirelessly to support her family. Warner Brothers made a fortune loaning her to other studios while she earned little. She had to please gossip columnists to maintain her image. She was stuck under the dazzle. Natalie was 16 and fed up. She resisted childhood. A causeless rebel was shot. She wanted to play troubled teen Judy, but director Nicholas Ray didn't think she could act wild. Natalie took a risk. A night of drinking with Dennis Hopper led to her car accident. She was hospitalized. A doctor said, "She's a juvenile delinquent," when Ray checked on her. Natalie asked Ray, "Did you hear that? Do I get the part?" She understood. She played Debbie Edwards in The Searchers at 18. It wasn't significant. Though she barely appeared in a few scenes, they transformed everything. Debbie was reared by Comanches after being kidnapped. Her uncle, played by John Wayne, finds her years later, and she says, "I am Comanche." A challenge, not just a sentence. Was she still the same girl to the audience? Can her uncle? Could she reclaim her life? Natalie surprised everyone with her minimal screen time, delivering agony, terror, and strength. The film was hailed as a classic Western, but slowly they began to regard Natalie Wood as more than a kid star. That year, she fought another war off-screen. Warner Brothers kept casting her as charming girlfriends. Nothing deep, dramatic, or serious. They kept her from growing up after her Oscar-nominated Rebel Without a Cause role. She took a risk. No, she declined the positions. For that, the studio suspended her for a year. She was 20. Her career could have ended then. It didn't. Back she came. In 1960, Warner Brothers cast her with James Garner and Cash McCall. Not popular. Next came The Handsome Young Cannibals, another fail. She was losing her hard-earned momentum. Natalie understood what happened to undeveloped young stars. Hollywood progressed. She wasn't ready to leave. She started working at 4. Not just roles was she battling for. Fighting for herself. Marjorie Morningstar came up with an actual character in 1958. New York Jewish college student Marjorie wanted to act. Her family wanted her to settle. Dreams and expectations clashed. Natalie understood that fight. She reached Marjorie. The film depicted actual Jewish traditions, Passover and synagogue sequences, rare in Hollywood. Natalie portrayed the character with integrity. For once, she wasn't merely supporting the male lead. The tale was her, and the end. Unlike the novel, the film kept Marjorie autonomous. No wedding, no quit. Just like Natalie. Who wouldn't compromise? Her greatest challenge was 1961. She collaborated with Elia Kazan on Splendor in the Grass that year. It altered everything. She played Deanie, a small-town girl crumbling under family, boyfriend, and self-imposed pressure. Actual agony made it feel real. Natalie idolized Kazan for years. She went farther than ever with his push. She collapses naked in the shower, screaming at her mother. No glitz, just feeling. She stopped acting. She lived it. People noticed. She received Oscar, Golden Globe, and BAFTA nominations. Suddenly, no one could question her. She was a genuine actress who deserved it. But success left scars. Also that year, she filmed West Side Story. She immersed herself in Maria. Because she thought the audience would hear her, she taped every song. She wasn't. Producers had previously replaced her voice without her knowing. They hired singer Marni Nixon to entirely dub her. Only on the last day of filming did they tell Natalie. She worked hard. She trusted their compliments. Everything was a lie. Nixon subsequently alleged she was told to remain silent. Not even Natalie's original songs were audible. Matching them was hard. It didn't matter. Natalie's voice vanished. We only hear her briefly during the Anywhere reprise. Natalie was heartbroken. She felt misled and humiliated. She started adding provisions to contracts. Stopped dubbing without her knowledge. Her true voice was revealed in Gypsy the next year. Though imperfect, it was hers. Natalie was obsessed with Robert Wagner. At 10, she saw him for the first time. He was 18. Natalie Wood turned to her mother and said, "I'll marry him." He was Robert Wagner. Her timing and method were unknown, but she thought it will happen. Natalie was famous then. She was signed by 20th Century Fox and had recently performed in Miracle on 34th Street. Unknown. Robert Wagner tried to get noticed in Hollywood, but Natalie already saw him as special. Years passed. Natalie worked in films. Her mother controlled everything, but Natalie never forgot the man she selected as a child. The studio scheduled a date for her 18th birthday, July 20th, 1956. Publicity was the goal. Natalie had just starred in Rebel Without a Cause. Wagner, 26, needs a career boost. Press-wise, the studio believed they looked fine together. A actual thing happened. Clicked. Instant connection. Wagner proposed on December 6, 1957, a year later. A diamond and pearl ring was hidden in Natalie's champagne glass. It simply read, "Marry me." 3 weeks later, on December 28th, they married in Scottsdale, Arizona. She was 19. Everyone believed it was the perfect Hollywood romance, but problems was brewing. Natalie's career took off. She won praise for Splendor in the Grass, West Side Story, and Gypsy. An Oscar nomination came her way. Wagner's career lagged. It produced tension, he said. Not the main reason they divorced, he claimed. Natalie's remarks said otherwise. Her private memoir described feeling overwhelmed. Small disputes felt big. Wagner was beyond her communication skills. The film failed despite their collaboration on All the Fine Young Cannibals. Natalie's solo initiatives thrived. Wagner felt behind. The marriage was failing. Natalie was thought to have had an affair with Splendor in the Grass co-star Warren Beatty, causing the breakup. The real cause was different. The truth was darker. Natalie's sister and a 2020 biography revealed that Natalie had discovered Wagner with their British butler in bed. He has collaborated with them for years. Natalie was aware Wagner was bisexual. She saw it before West Side Story, which was too much. It broke her. June 1961 saw their split. The divorce ended in April 1962. After that, they parted. Natalie Wood fell for Warren Beatty after her 1962 divorce from Robert Wagner. They had just finished filming Splendor in the Grass, yet their chemistry continued. Their connection was hot and explosive for 2 years. Natalie called it a complete collision. She stated Wagner seldom exhibited anger, but Warren couldn't hold it in, and she matched his fury. They saw perpetual fighting as honesty. It was chaos. Wagner subsequently admitted it nearly drove him insane. He traveled to Europe to escape. At the time, some suspected Natalie of cheating on Wagner with Beatty. However, intimate acquaintances, notably writer Mark Crowley, denied that. The affair started after the film. Natalie endured emotional storms. 1966 followed. On paper, her career was good. Something inside her broke. Her film, Penelope, failed. She could no longer hide her stress. She had hives filming. She subsequently said she rolled on the floor in anguish, but the director kept pushing her to resist. She was. Her patience ran out. So she did the unthinkable. To break her contract, she paid Warner Brothers $175,000. More than $1.5 million today. She fired agents, managers, and accountants. Everyone left. She quit Hollywood at 28. She retreated from the spotlight for 3 years. She declined roles. Healing was her goal. Therapy became her focus. She paid too much for fame. In 1969, she returned on her own terms. Bob and Carol and Ted and Alice, a controversial comedy about open marriage and wife-swapping, was her choice. People were astonished, and it worked. The picture grossed $50,000 in its first week. Natalie gambled instead of collecting a salary. She declined a $750,000 salary for a profit share. That risk paid off. She made almost $1 million more than with the usual deal. Critics lauded her. Massive crowds attended. Might have been her second huge run. She didn't want that. She quietly declined after 4 more films in 12 years. This is family time. Natalie married British producer Richard Gregson in May 1969. 2 years have passed since they started dating. Natalie's life altered when their daughter Natasha was born a year later. Robert Redford introduced them and was their best man. She enjoyed more than motherhood. It delighted her, it overwhelmed her. Her priorities changed overnight. She slowed her job to care for her child. Her age was 31. Most actresses would consider such career suicide. Natalie didn't care. Her friends stated she shone with joy. She laughed more. She felt lighter. Gregson felt pushed out. Natalie gave all to parenting. The fissures appeared. The cracks spread large in 1971. Natalie discovered Gregson's secretary affair. She acted fast. She filed for divorce and shut him out. It became official in April 1972. He went to England. 3 months later, Natalie startled everyone again. She wedded Robert Wagner, her ex-husband of 10 years. It was round. Wagner adopted Natasha, giving her 2 fathers. She called them Daddy Wagner and Daddy Gregson. Despite living far away, Gregson remained in Natasha's life until his 2019 death. She shared a nice snapshot of them following his death. Though their marriage failed, they discovered serenity. Natalie suffered her worst scars earlier. She was 16 when her mother took her to Chateau Marmont in July 1955. Natalie was aiming to transition from child star to serious actor by filming The Searchers. Mother Maria wants to help. Her aid suggestion was frightening. She left 8-year-old Lana Wood asleep in the car and took Natalie inside to see Kirk Douglas that night. Douglas was 39, married, and a superstar. Maria thought Douglas liked Natalie and might open doors for her, according to Lana's account. She sent her daughter alone to his suite. The goal was career advancement. Instead, what happened was devastating. Natalie returned to the car broken. She had dirty clothes. She looked pallid. She muttered frantic words to her mother, which Lana couldn't hear. Something dreadful had happened, but Lana didn't realize it. Natalie would never forget that night. Years later, she told Lana the truth. "He hurt me," Natalie said. She was afraid, perplexed, and traumatized. She found the meeting surreal. She hid it for years. Lana revealed it just after she and Douglas died. Michael Douglas answered, "May they both rest in peace," when asked. Even worse, Maria was frigid when Natalie informed her mother what occurred. "Suck it up," she said. It was Hollywood then. Girls were unprotected. Pushes occurred. Careers trumped truth, safety, and justice.